would help if I clicked on the right one. Here we go. Now we are we are live. So hello and welcome to everyone who is watching the Written in Melanin channel. Wherever this day may have found you, I am so glad that you are here. My name is Chelsea, better known as CM Lockhart, and I am here with Ash, and we are going. I was gonna say we're gonna be here to bring some melanin to your pages, and I guess we are, but this is not the melanin chat. So we're here to do some writing sprints and be productive, you guys. So we've been talking off screen, but for the sake of this recording, hi Ash, how are you today?
Today.
I'm good. I am good. We are. Oh, I am. Am I still streaming my screen to you on Discord? Let me fix that.
Yes.
Y'all, it's been a moment. I'm gonna close my camera because y'all don't need to see this angle of me. It's not flattering. It is not flattering. But there we go. Let's fix that. Okay. So I just need y'all to know that this morning has been so interesting so far, but we're learning new things. We're being productive. We're here to have a good time. Good time, not a long time, right? That's what they say. I don't know. Oh, okay. I'm a little hype. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I got full rest. I don't know. But today's going to be productive. We're going to claim that. But that being said, what are you working on today? And also, if y'all are watching this, let us know what you're working on in the chat, how you're doing. Like, feel free to engage. Sorry. Ash.
Absolutely. Today I'm working on getting all of my scenes like full plotted out for my Monster Marks, the first part of this first series. I had to do a rewrite of it. There was a issue that I found that would create a problem in like the third story. So I need to go back and fix a couple of the scenes, and then I can know exactly what I need to be rewriting.
Well, that sounds fun. I feel like there's such a difference between like I have to draft this from a blank page and okay, I need to rewrite this to make it better. I don't know if I prefer one over the other at this point, but rewriting isn't as terrible as hi, I'm staring at a blank page. Brain, please do the thing that's going to make us money. That would be nice. It's like please do this on command. So
Absolutely. That's why I like the whole back and forth of you working on characters and then working on the plot of the snowflake method and everything. So it does help me out. And so because the whole point of trying to do the series is to have, the people that's going to be showing up in the next, or the main characters of the next part of the series, there'll be actual, breadcrumbs about them, or that you meet them and within the first few books and continue on. So because I wanted to do that, like I said, I created an issue for one of the other monsters and started. I was like, okay, yeah, he can't be doing that. So I had to start correcting some areas, and then I realized, okay, so I need to go all the way back. Because I'm trying to plot the series as far as possible, to make sure that I can just keep on going. Once I finally release one, I can keep on working on the next and not trying to figure it all out over again. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
What about you? What's your project for today?
Yo, my project is book 2. We are on chapter 8, and I am at this point where I'm just like, I'm probably gonna have to go back and fix this. But I'm gonna keep going because I'm not gonna say it's a struggle. It's just something that I'm aware of. Is that for anyone who's read book 1, We Are the Origin, y'all will know that the story kind of centers Brandy and also Sarah. So there's some parts of the story that are told from her perspective because Sarah is like the self-insert character. She is the one who doesn't know much about the world and has to ask questions and so on and so forth, right? But this one, the second book, it's mostly Brandy, and I love it. I love Brandy so much. She's so fun to write. But I'm also like, wow, this is not this is not equal. It's like Brandy, Sarah, Brandy. And I'm just
Uh,
kind of like, I should probably switch this up a little bit. I don't know. So I'm at a point where I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna write the story the way that it's coming to me, and then when I do edits, I will go back. But it's just kind of like at this point in the story, as an author, I'm just kind of like, you don't need to know what Sarah's doing really at this point, because if you know where the first book left off at, you can kind of imagine where the second book is,
mhm.
and Sarah's being Sarah. Let me say that. Sarah is out here being Sarah and Brandy's out here solving problems. Okay?
Mhm.
So I'm just kind of like I want to like make sure there's a balance, but also I just want the book to be like interesting and keep at a pace. And the other thing, and I'm not out here to just talk about me, but these are like the struggles that are going through my mind at this point, right? I'm also like I'm learning that as a writer, like my natural storytelling rhythm is not very fast. It's just kind of like there's a lot to take in, and I'm just kind of like, is this going to this book is either going to be super long, or I'm going to have to really like change this to pace it up. And I'm like, I really don't want to do either of those things. I don't know. I don't know. But that's not what you
Well,
asked
I mean,
me.
you do seem to have unfolding style for your storytelling. Like you kind of, oh well, everything is layers, but depends on how fast you peel back everything, and you do it a little slower pace. But I don't think that's an issue.
She said, I'm good with it though. Like, it's fine.
Like, I'm totally ready.
And I guess that's the thing that I kind of am coming to terms with, because I'm just kind of like, this will be the second book. And I just kind of want people who read the first book to be happy with the second book,
Mhm.
and also to like want the third book. So I'm just kind of like, we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. Hopefully it's a positive experience. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just kind of like, you know how like people say, oh, when they get feedback or whatever, not necessarily criticism, but like feedback. And it's just kind
Mhm.
of like, a piece of my feedback is always, I kind of have like a slow pace in my stories, and I'm like, I don't know how to make it go faster. It's a whole world. I don't know how to make this make sense to you and go faster at the same time. I can make it
Yeah.
confusing and we can have things happening. I
Right,
don't know.
and then like that could, if you do that, then you're kind of doing an info dump, and everybody's totally against info dumps and everything. So then you have to try to figure out. I mean, I understand. I do short stories normally, so me trying to expand into a novel, which I definitely want to do a series, because I've always wanted to do a series. But I'm like, okay, so I have this huge amount of backstory, character development stuff, reason why they're motivated to do these things, and then it's like, so how am I gonna show you this without just putting a whole bunch of paragraphs at the beginning,
Right.
and then y'all be upset because it ain't nothing but an info dump. So then spreading it out, so it's harder for me to do because it's a longer format versus a short story where you kind of have a little bit more leeway to be able to do that. So yeah, I understand completely.
So that's where I'm at. And also my goal for today is 2,500 words, because apparently I don't love myself and I don't write regularly. So my word count keeps going up for every day that I don't write. So I did this to myself. I did this to myself.
Okay.
Because when I
Well,
started out,
you have deadlines, so you created a good deadline option, and you're sticking to it. So that's
yeah,
great. I was doing great until last week. Everything started falling apart, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to bed. Like,
that's how it be sometimes,
yeah,
truly.
so I need to
Because
catch up too.
my thing right now, and also hello everyone who has come into the chat. I am not ignoring you. I swear. I'm having thoughts right now, and I don't know why my brain is on 10 today, but that's where it's at. So I'm moving as I can. I'm so sorry, but no, but like honestly, Ash, that's how I be feeling sometimes. Because I'm just like, yo, I know I should write. I need to write, and then I don't, and I'm just like, why? Why am I doing this to myself? And then you know what? It's a whole thing. It's a whole conversation. But my goal is to be like, okay, I'm gonna prioritize writing. That's it. That's it. Because I swear, if this word count gets up to 3,000 words, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit, and I'm gonna throw the whole book away. All right. So I'm not for it. I'm not trying to stress myself out like that. But I also don't want the book to be like, yeah, it came out in 2029 because she couldn't get it done on time, you know?
I got you.
So
Mm-hmm.
that being said, hello to Read, Writing, and Rain. Good morning, y'all. On the clock, ready to get some words logged in on this break. Yes, so we're gonna get onto this so you can actually get some writing in. Working on finishing my nano work in progress. Want to release back to back, like Ash said. See, I
All
love the
right.
I love the idea of rapid release, but also my brain is not set up for that, and I have had the time to train it to do better. So
I would say I'm gonna try to do like full on rapid release. Because I know they were like, you gotta release like every week and stuff. No, there's no way that's gonna be able to work for me. At least not in my mindset at this point.
I'm
Maybe
thinking.
once I get some more practice, I might be able to get to that level.
I thought rapid release was like you release a book like every month, not every week.
Oh,
Jesus.
I might be. You know what? I might be mixing my notes up with like erotica stuff because that's. I mean, that's how they do it. I think that's probably what I'm doing. Yeah.
Y'all really be on top of that because I surely could not. If I dropped We Are the Origin and somebody was like, okay, so when's our next release? Monday, Tuesday, bruh.
Hmm.
You mean Monday, Tuesday next year?
Right.
What? But yeah,
Well, maybe monthly. Monthly might not be too bad, but I mean, you would have to be, and also you would have to have like a backlog. You would have to have it so you can continue to work. At least depending on what kind of quality you want to have on your work. So I guess it.
quality.
I do have a little plan that I've been like percolating,
Okay, all
trying to
right.
figure out if I can be able to release, sooner than later. But I definitely need to have my backlog up.
Yeah. Also, just so you guys know, we are starting the first sprint at we're on Eastern Standard Time, so first sprint will start at 11:20. So this is your time to get your water, get your tea, get situated, do whatever it is that you need to do, so that we can jump into this first sprint full force. So you got about 4-ish minutes before we jump into the first one. Um, that being said, I don't know. I like the idea of rapid release, but I also hate the idea of sitting on a story until the next one is done. And something that I did learn doing We Are the Origin this way, though, that you said earlier, is like actually planning out the series. Like I know certain key aspects of the series or whatever, but I probably in the future, if I do another series, definitely planning it out more from the beginning before I start putting things out in the world. Like, oh, should have thought this through a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing. I think it was like what was it called? It was like Element. No, wait, Anatomy of a Story or something like that, where they were kind of talking about if you have a bad guy in the sequel. No, it was like a breakdown of Aliens and Terminator.
Oh.
So it was basically saying that the director, the writers and everything, they made the enemy even stronger and it made sense. So, like saying Aliens, you had, well, Alien, the first Alien, you had one. You had your surprise one alien in there. And then Aliens, the next one, you went from like a horror and one bit bad guy. Then you went to kind of an action movie with an even badder guy. So you had not just increasing the numbers of aliens, you had now a bigger, badder alien, the queen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. That's why people don't have like it kind of breaks that cycle of if your next story is not as good as the first
Mm-hmm.
because you hadn't like really thought about how to up the ante. So
Yeah.
that is something that I have been playing around with, and that's I will tell you the that's what I ran into with the third story of the Monster Mark series
Mm-hmm.
when I was playing it was that the bad guy was a bit out of nowhere. So I needed to like create the connections needed in the previous stories in order for them to like level up pretty much.
Yeah. And
So,
see, what you said triggers another thought, and I'm gonna make a note to myself to talk about it because it's anime related, and I for sure cannot talk about that in 60 seconds. So I'm gonna just make a note to talk about uh we're to talk about leveling up as it pertains to some anime because this is something that me and Ben talk about all the time when we watch anime, because like we like to analyze things and talk about it. But yeah, we're not. I'm gonna save it for after for our break time after our first sprint. But that being said, Samantha is also here. So hello, welcome. Good
Hey,
morning. She says she's spending the stream doing admin work and making room for writing. Yes, love that. Also, as he said, morning, going to be writing on my historical fantasy novel, and learning that sequels are complicated beasts. Yo, truly, we are in the same realm right now, because the sequel, there's this idea that it has to be better than the first, but you know, I'm not gonna keep running my mouth because it's 20 minutes after the hour. So we are going to go ahead and get into this first sprint. So if you guys are new here, I am going to be having some chill hop up in the back. At least I would if I had pulled it up and had remembered not to close out of of the website. But anyway, there's going to be some chill hop in the background playing. If you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. Sprints are going to be, I think this is a 20-minute clock. Don't let me lie to you. Hold up. Let me see. Let me double check. Yep, it's a 25-minute clock. So that being said, 25 minutes, we'll go from there and then we'll check back in. So happy sprinting, you guys. Y'all, okay, so that's time, and y'all need to thank Ash because I'm pretty sure she just messaged me to be like, "Hey, that's time. What you doing, homie?" And
I just unmuted.
I was about to go down a whole rabbit hole. Okay, like, truly, truly. So this is your reminder, if you haven't already, to stretch, breathe, drink some water, take care of yourself. Also, if you're here, let us know in the chat what you did, how you did, so on and so forth. I'm gonna let Ash talk because I need to write this thought down before I forget. So, Ash, I'm listening, but I'm half listening because I need to write this down. How'd you do?
All right, you're fine. So I got 378 words in this sprint, like just pretty much just rewrote two parts so far, two I guess chapter outlines, like the summary
Mm-hmm.
of it for the first story, which I think has fixed my issue. So I need to fix the issue in the second story, but I'm gonna probably spend the next sprint reading through to make sure there's no further issues in the rest of this outline, and then where I need to fix things to make sure I keep a note, I guess you could say.
I got you.
And so how's I guess everyone else like? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, you guys. Also, shout out to Cameo and Read Love Listen and Morgan, who all came in while we were sprinting. Hope you guys are doing well. Y'all, I'm at a point where I'm just like like I just the whole story just like I don't want to say it changed, but is it okay if I rant for a moment, Ash? Are you okay with that?
at it.
Okay. I just had a moment where I was just like, oh, this is what needs to happen. Because if y'all have been like watching the vlog, or you signed up for my newsletter, or you interact with me on the interwebs or whatever, you'll know that initially I said that the title for book 2 was going to be We Are the Rebellion. And I was like, whoop, love it, great, this is it, this is going to be great, we're going to focus on the rebellion, it's going to be fantastic. But then I actually started to write the book. And see, this is free writing advice. Don't give your book a title until you actually start writing it, because whatever you think it's going to be, 9 times out of 10 is going to change after you start writing it. Once your characters start getting personalities and you actually start working out the plot and stuff. So don't do what I did. Don't embarrass yourself like that on the internet. Anyway, I decided to rebrand the story as We Are Dying Gods. And there's this moment in chapter 8 with Brandy and like the rebellion and the rebels who are there. Because again, this is not spoiler. It's where book 1 left off. And it is also in the summary, the official summary for book 2, which I haven't actually shared with the internet yet. Goals. That's going on the calendar to do at some point. Anyway, I was writing it and I was just like, but what if she did this? But what if we just took it to like a level 10? And I was just like, oh, this would be great. This would be interesting. So that's where I'm at. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, let me write this idea down. And the thing about me is I don't write ideas down for the most part. Because I'm like, if it's a good idea, it's going to stick with me. But this was such a good idea. I was like, nah, we're not going to play games with time. Okay? We're going to write this down. Make sure we come back to this. Even if it's a bad idea, I want to know what it was. So it's got me a little hype. But yeah. So, also, I got 172 words, so I had started chapter 8 because another piece of free writing advice, if you are trying to like meet a deadline or like keep your momentum going, never stop at the end of a chapter or at the end of a scene. Like always write another sentence, another paragraph into the next parts, and when you come back, you have something to like kind of spur you on. If you ever play video games, it's kind of like when you have those little arrows on your little racing games that you just drive over and they just like zoom. That's like what writing a paragraph for yourself in the future is like. It just makes things a lot easier. I am rambling like a mug right now, but I'm hype, y'all. I'm excited.
It's always great to see when you get real excited about the stuff that you're working on. I love it. And that comes across in the actual reading of it. That's great.
I hope so, because y'all, so just so y'all know, Ash is one of my beta readers, and I'm so excited to get this freaking book to her, because she's gonna be like, what? And I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is what I've been going through in my head this whole time. And I just need y'all to know that y'all know that Ben, if you don't know, if you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Chelsea. I'm married to Ben. Ben is my husband. He's also my primary feedback provider, meaning he reads everything that I write, and if he doesn't like it, then I have to rewrite it, right? He was reading it, and he was just like, you just sit here, because we talk about it, and he was like, you let me sit here and theorize about what was coming next for a whole hour, knowing good and well that I was wrong. Why would you do this? So
that might let you figure out, a little bit of something that you might be able to sprinkle in later, why not?
I like to know what questions you want answered, but also know that and I guess my thing as a writer is I always want to like keep my readers on their toes, but it's just like, I don't want it to be like, I never saw that coming. What is this? And then to be like angry, I want to be like, yo, I didn't see that coming. Let me go back and read that again. That's what I'm going for. And there are hopefully some moments that are just like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. But it's going to be so fun. And I just, y'all, I kind of want this. Okay, maybe I'm egotistical. I'm probably egotistical. I should probably go see a therapist about this. But have you ever written your own book and you're like, man, I wish I wasn't myself so that I could read this for the first time? Because this is great. That's where I'm at right now. I'm so freaking hyped. I don't know what's wrong with me, y'all. It's just like, I feel like I ate a whole damn cake by myself. Like, where's this energy coming from? I don't know. But anyway.
Just happy. And this, I wanted to add too, like, I love, like, you got to write it down. You got to get it. Because I remember being told a while back, they said, if you ever think, okay, I'm going to remember this and I don't have to write it down right now and all that kind of stuff, that, that voice in your head that tells you, you're going to be fine. You'll remember. There's no way you're going to forget this. And they were like, that's the devil. It's telling you that because it's probably a really good idea.
Woo! I ain't never.
I remember when I saw that on, I was like, oh my gosh.
I need you to know that from now on, whenever that voice in my head is like, you don't need to write it down and be like, that's the devil. Bobby Boucher's mama's voice is going to be in my head, being like, that's nothing but the devil.
Yep.
And if y'all don't know who Bobby Boucher is, I can't help you. I just want to know, by show of hands in the chat, how many of y'all know who Bobby Boucher is? I'm curious. Ash, do you know who that is?
The name.
Okay.
I remember the name. The name sounds very familiar.
I'll tell y'all where it's from, but I just want to know for a second if y'all know where Bobby Boucher is from.
Is it?
Okay, so yeah, Cameo knows. It's from Waterboy.
Waterboy, okay.
Yeah. And his mom is like super religious, and she was like, and she keeps him from everything. It's like, that's the devil. And then he goes to college, and then the professor is like trying to tell him about like evolution. He's like, and Bobby Boucher is like, nah, professor, you wrong. That's not what mama said. He's like, oh, we got a mama's boy. And he tackles the crap out of that man. And they're like, you need to come play football for us. Okay. So y'all, this break is going to be a little bit longer because I didn't even get to tell y'all about what Ash said before about leveling up or whatever. And I didn't want to make sure that we actually talk about it. So this break will probably be an extra some odd minutes. Okay. Sorry. This is my stream. I ain't got to apologize. We're going to do what we want. We are going to do at least 2 more. I'm going to try to do at least 2 more sprints, but I'm so done. I'm so done with Cameo. Okay. Holding hands. You know who holds hands? The devil. Oh, and Vicky Valancourt, that was my girl back in the day. Do you want me to kill him? Okay. Anyway, refocusing, right? When you were talking about like scaling your enemy or whatever as the story goes along, what it made me think about is, y'all know I love anime. Y'all know I love to talk about anime. So, Ash, do you watch anime? Okay.
I just finished like the first piece of the second season of Demon Hunter. That was the most recent one I've watched.
Demon Hunter or Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer, my bad, not Hunter.
Okay,
yes.
Got you. Well, y'all know I love me some anime, and me and Ben have been rewatching Bleach because the new Blood War is out, the 1,000-Year Blood War, and I have never watched Bleach because I am not one of those girlies where I was just like, oh yeah, I grew up watching anime. Like, I saw Naruto on TV one time, but it was in the middle, it wasn't the beginning, and I was like, what is a jutsu? What are these? Why are there 3 of him now? I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm not into it, right? So I did not get into anime until I met Ben when I was older, right? And so, but once I got into it, obsession, right? Anyway, I say all that to say that if you don't know anything about anime, you need to know that there are what they call the big 3 of anime, right? And this is, some people on the internet will try to tell you this is subjective. It is not subjective. It's an objective fact that these 3 anime help bring anime from the East over to Western culture. But we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to get into an anime discussion, right? Well, we are, but not that part of it. So anyway, the big 3 are One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. Okay, those 3 are long-running anime. They came out in like early 2000s, and they were like that. They are what brought anime into like America, United States, whatever. Right? I'm gonna reset this timer because I'm not gonna talk more than another 10 minutes. I swear. Anyway. I watched Naruto. Naruto was the anime that got me into watching anime in the first place. So I have seen all of Naruto. I've seen it subbed. I've seen it dubbed. I skipped a lot of the filler, but I've seen pretty much every episode of Naruto. Great. That's like 1,000 some odd episodes. I absolutely love One Piece. It's not behind me, but it's over there. It's Ben's collection, but we have every published box set of the One Piece manga. And we have a bunch of One Piece merch in the house. We love One Piece. One Piece is an amazing anime. But the 2 that I really wanted to talk about that got me thinking about leveling or whatever is like One Piece versus Bleach, because they came out around the same time, right? And one of the reasons why I did not like Bleach from the very beginning is because Ichigo, the main character, you were following him, and he got this new power with his sword, right? It's called the Bankai, right? But then, like, immediately following his return from the Soul Society or whatever, where he got this new power, they send him back to where he was on episode 1, not being able to use any of his powers, right? And that's because there was a new enemy. And so instead of leveling the character up, they just scaled him back down to where he was before so he could fight a villain of about the same power. And to me, that was just such a crappy job. And it made me stop watching Bleach until it was just like, okay, I need to adjust. I'll just skip this season because it turned out it's filler season anyway. And if you don't know what filler is basically stuff that is not, how do I explain this? It's basically like if you write a book.
Yeah.
If you write a book and your book gets adapted into a movie, and basically the movie just decides to add content that wasn't in the book because they need to fill up space. That's what filler is. It's not canon. So Bleach has a bunch of filler. They have like entire filler seasons, but it's what made me drop it in the first place. And I was like, this is not good storytelling. Like even having watched it all the way through, and if you're an anime watcher, you stumble upon this, don't come for me. I'm not having this conversation with nobody on the internet. It's just my opinion. Okay. Of the big 3, Bleach is the weakest, okay? It is like, I'm not saying it's bad, but compared to Naruto and One Piece, which came out around the same time, Bleach is arguably the worst of the big 3. I don't like it, really. I'm only watching it because I want to watch the new Blood War, right? Anyway, the reason I say all that is because when I think about One Piece does exactly what you said that writing advice does. Luffy, the main character of One Piece, he gets stronger as he goes along his journey, but so do his enemies, so do the people that he has to deal with, to the point where it's just like when you're at the very beginning of One Piece, right, and Luffy's just some like raggedy 17-year-old who wants to be a pirate, and it's just like, oh yeah, nah homie, you're not really finna be a pirate, you're not built for this. But then he gets fights, and then you see his conviction, and you see him actually leveling up and getting stronger and learning new skills and fighting new people, and he doesn't forget that as he goes along his journey, to the point where he levels up so much that the stuff that he was doing in the beginning he no longer does anymore, because it's just like, it's kind of like if you play video games and you have a skill set loadout and you only get 5 skill sets, you could have 20 skill sets, but the skill sets that you use on level 1 are not the same skill sets you're going to use on level 30. Man, I'm using a lot of nerdy references today, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And it's just like, that's what you need in good storytelling as well. And when you said that, that's what it triggered. And I'm like, this is why I like anime. This is why I like One Piece. One Piece, arguably for me, is like the best story like ever told, from like any story, world building, character development, backstory, introductory, fights. It is literally one of the best stories ever told. And if you're not into anime, you can read the manga. The manga goes a lot faster, and it has so much detail, and it's good. And I'm going to stop trying to evangelize with One Piece. It's just good, and I'm hype, and I'm just like, this makes sense. I connected the dots. Like, yeah, the characters need to get stronger. The villains need to get stronger in accordance to the character, so that your character always feels like they have a challenge without it being too easy. Because the other thing is, you don't want to feel like somebody can come in and one-shot the main villain. Like, why are we even doing all this prep? Why are we going back and forth and making plays? You just go up and pop them in the mouth one good time and be done. You know? That's my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to it.
You're so I kind of, what do you feel about the leveling of the sword for Inuyasha? Or have you seen?
I have seen.
Okay.
Okay, so fun fact that y'all did not need to know about me, but I'm sharing everything today, apparently. So, for those of you who don't know, I got married really young. I was a fresh 20. And I was still in college, so we only had spring break for our honeymoon. So we actually did not get to go on a honeymoon because I was like, yeah, I got classes in like 3 days, bro. we're not gonna be able to do this. So we just sat at the house and watched Inuyasha from start to finish. So that was like our honeymoon or whatever. So definitely have seen Inuyasha. But to answer the question, I don't really remember the scaling of his sword. I remember that I was just like, yo, I remember him and I remember Koga. And I was just like, you know what, Kagome? I'm gonna need you to pick a better partner because Koga is all about you, love. I don't know why you, after chasing this man who was in love with a dead woman, like, I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it how it always goes, though? Because, I mean, it's, you know, that love triangle, you know, supposedly. Then the next, they always pick the one that's like, okay, he is that is not the best pick for you. I
I
don't
would
understand why you're picking that person.
I would love a triangle where she doesn't pick the first love interest that was
Yes.
introduced. But for it was interesting because both of them had other people that they could have been with. Kagome could have been with Koga, but that didn't work out for reasons, right? But Inuyasha sipping over Kagome and Kikyo. Look, I got to the point where every time I saw Kikyo, I was like, Kikyo. I was over here being like weak, like Whitley, like Kakikakula. Like, why you here? You dead, bruh. Stay dead.
Right. Why do you keep on coming back? I think that definitely turned me off of the story. I did watch. Oh, I don't know if I've seen every single one of them, of the movies and the seasons, but I do remember being like, "Oh my goodness, can we just get to this sword thing?" Because that was the most interesting part. Because I was like, y'all high schoolers, and you are you were hundreds of years old or whatever, but you act like the teenage girl who's in love with you, and you suck. So anyway, but the sword thing is pretty neat, and I just really like how they. I had to read the manga to get the rest of it, but you were able to see that, like, every time they beat a foe, the sword needed to, absorb the ability in order to fight the next one. So it was pretty good. I wish they had a little bit more time for setup, but other than that, the writer was like, I want 500 chapters, and I think she was able to get there. Like, oh goodness gracious, I don't even remember what the end exactly is. I would have to take a look, but I know they continued the story, so I didn't catch the new ones with the kids.
You want me to tell you? I can tell you.
What? Okay.
So just so you know, if you have not seen the end of Inuyasha, I'm about to spoil it for you. So just go ahead and mute this for like the next minute or so. Okay, there's a timer on the screen to help you out. So 3, 2, 1. I'm spoiling this for you. So basically, at the end of the series, they defeat Naraku. They get the jewel back. Kiki. Yeah, Kagome goes back through the well to her time, but the well locks or whatever, so she can't go back and forth. And she stays in her world for like, I think like another 2 or 3 years until she finishes high school. But then they manage to unlock the well one more time so that she can go back through it. And then she goes through and she marries Inuyasha and she stays in that time period. And they have kids, which is the spinoff.
Okay. So I do remember. I probably read the end of it then. So, because I don't remember seeing it, but I do remember when they finally defeated him, it was like a weird, like pieces of him at the end, and then he was like pretty much nothing, and Kikyo kept it,
I think,
or something, or dragged it with her. I can't remember exactly, but I was like,
she might have dragged him to hell. That's where she was going. I mean, I'm being real. Like, that might have been what happened.
Yeah. I was like, man, it took so long to get there, and the concept. And I was like, how much? I did. It was like, okay, so how much level up can you do to this sword, to this person, before you finally, stop? So, and I guess it could have been made more interesting if there were more people involved, which is what I guess that's the goal with the series. So you have different couples getting together, and both of them have a certain power set that will allow to continue to level up and beat these particular monsters that are totally against the treaty that the realms have with each other and stuff. So in the story that I'm trying to work on, I'm like, look, they're gonna get worse because you're gonna start off with the henchmen first. You're gonna start off with the low level ones, and then you'll start getting the attention of the higher level folks. So yeah,
I think you have really 2 options, and then we do have to get back to sprinting.
okay.
I'm gonna give us another 3 minutes so we can start 10 minutes after. So this is your reminder: use the restroom, stretch, breathe, take some deep breaths, drink some water, whatever it is that you need to do to take care of yourself. This is your verbal reminder to do that. And we'll start 10 minutes after the hour for the next 25-minute sprint. But I think you have 2 options when it comes to villains. You can do like early 2000s anime, and you can have one super powerful villain that you are working towards the entire time, and you're just defeating stronger henchmen. Or you can have like the big villain and then you defeat them, but then the big villain, after that there's like another super big villain. You could take, I guess it's like kind of like the comic approach, because I feel like in comics you always have, this is the villain, but then once you defeat him, it's like there's another bigger, badder villain on the way.
Right.
So
Right. And if you have, I think one thing that I kind of wish that they would do a little more of is, if you do have this one big bad, having kind of an inkling of another big bad that's even worse trickled in beforehand will be great. And I think that helps with the continuation of the series. Like even in Marvel, you had your big bad in Marvel with Thanos, and then we're having another one set up. If we'd have had a little bit more hints of Kang, previously, it would have been a little bit more. I think it would have been a little bit more cohesive, because you're already planning like all of these movies, and you already have the source material. Why aren't you trickling in those particular enemies, sooner rather than much later? Like, we've now defeated, and now you got this kind of rest period. Which, I mean, I guess it's good to have a rest period, but maybe that rest period can be more. We're a little bit more anxious because we know there's something else in the background getting ready to come forward.
I think that also plays into world building, and I think it's a little bit harder for Marvel, only because initially all those worlds were separate, and like the crossover and the coming together is something that's, at least to my understanding, is more recent. I'm not a Marvel person. I don't read comics. I don't even really like comics because I don't like superheroes. That's not my thing. I only watch them because my husband's into it. So if I'm wrong, don't come for me in these comments. But I think there is a certain level of, like, when you have world building, it's a lot easier to trickle in things when it's consistent across the board versus like each person's in their own isolated. Because I think the other issue that you run into is that with superheroes, they're always the strongest one in their universe, and then when these universes collide, it's just like, okay, but who's actually the strongest, and then how can we make a villain who's going to be strong and challenge all of these different people at the same time, But we're gonna save that for the next break. Also, I want to acknowledge the comments. So Margaret is here. Hello, and quick plug. On Sunday, you guys, I'm going to be a part of an AuthorTube panel talking about Black AuthorTube and such on Margaret's channel. So be sure to check that out. It's not in the description now, but I will pop a link in there so you guys can check it out. It's going to be Sunday, 2:00. So for sure, come check it out. Come hang out with us. But she's here, and she was like, early 2000s, what about Dragon Ball in the 90s? I'm just going to shout this out real quick. Dragon Ball is great.
Yeah.
And it opened the door, but objectively speaking, the big three is what came right after Dragon Ball, that came as, like, I don't want to say a unit, a set, a collection, whatever. Dragon Ball opened the door, but the big three like broke down the whole wall and was like, here we go. This is a genre that we can make money off of. Let's page. Haven't seen Inuyasha. Hopefully I did not spoil that for you. Anime viewing vastly influenced your little brother's taste. Good. Anime should always influence people. And Dragon Ball does a great job of increasing the stakes with stronger enemies over time. We're not going to get into that conversation right now. So we are going to go ahead and
I have a question I'm going to ask in the next break.
Okay, so as you guys know, 25 minutes are on the clock. I will be playing Chill Hop in the background. So if you don't want to hear it, go ahead and mute it, and we will check in with you guys in 25 minutes. So whether you're productive, whether you're writing, whatever you're doing, I hope that you are successful, and we'll see you in a little bit. right, you guys, that is time. So, let us know how you did, what you did, all of that good jazz. So, um, whew, Ash, how did you do?
All right, I did find one more section that had an issue. So that was 169 words that I wanted to type in to fix it, and then I everything else was looking fine for this little plot outline. That means I need to go and fix those 3 chapters.
Whoop, making progress. Um,
Yes.
I got roughly 400 words that time. It's interesting because it's just like the characters keep changing. Like I thought there was going to be this one character like giving this like really impactful, "Come on everybody, we can do this" kind of speech. And that's not my vibe, so no. We had to change that. So it's been it's been kind of interesting. But yeah. Also shout out to Vicky Fox and Julia who came in while we were sprinting.
Okay.
Hello, welcome. Hope you guys are doing well. Um so yeah. Yeah, and I had to get my little fan over here going because it's hot in this little corner, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Thank you much. Thank you much. For getting things done, trying our best. So what I did want to ask you, while everybody like, I hope y'all tell us what you do. But what are the three animes, or what like your top animes or movies or series or whatever that you have right now? Like maybe three or four of them.
like ever, or is just like a current obsession?
It can be ever, because I have a few that have kind of stuck with me since I first ever like started watching it. I used to call when I was younger. I would watch on Sci-Fi. Used to have anime, like an anime come on, a movie come on Saturdays, and that would be my Saturday morning cartoon. Like I didn't really care for a lot of the Saturday morning cartoons. I guess the regular American, let's say regular, what they normally advertise. But it was, I would be waiting for Sci-Fi to give me like my first one, and I was like, oh, we gonna be watching these long cartoons on Saturdays. Was Vampire Hunter D, and
Okay.
I think I had like an awakening because there's a scene where
She
he's
said
riding that
okay.
horse, and it's like his body is moving back and I was like, I don't know why I like this. And well, when I got older, obviously you find out that okay,
Yeah, you figure out what it is.
he wasn't nasty.
But she's like,
But
I'm into this. What is
after that, I
this?
was like, yeah, I love these things. So, and then that's when I started learning more about what these shows were and stuff, and then got much more into them.
Got you. Um, I would have to say, like for me, I don't. Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I watch so much. I'm like just a couple. Um, okay, so ever, I guess I would have to say Yu Yu Hakusho is definitely going to be in that list because I love Yu Yu Hakusho. That is, we rewatch that multiple times a year, so definitely that one. And honestly, I think it's just because if you guys have never seen Yu Yu Hakusho, it's called the Spirit Files or whatever. The thing that got me is the main character hates everybody, continues to hate everybody throughout the whole series, and
Yeah,
he dies in the first episode. And I'm just like, what is this? This is amazing. I loved it so much. So definitely Yu Yu Hakusho. Um, I also really loved The Promised Neverland. Like it's the and I'm talking about the manga, not the anime. Not the anime. The first season of the anime is great. We don't talk about the second season. But um I don't know. I really love the storytelling aspect of it and just like all the tension that's in it. Even when you're reading the manga, it's just kind of like, yo, what's happening? How are they going to do this? And I just kind of like that level of like engagement, I guess. And then I don't know, just like general overall favorites. Obviously, I love One Piece. Like I love One Piece so much. That's probably my favorite anime of all time, ever. Watched the anime multiple times. I mean, it's still ongoing, but I've watched it in English. I've watched it in Japanese. Obviously, we own the manga collection. Uh, yeah. But then there's also a bunch of like cute stuff. So like, I don't know if you guys can see it. I have my like manga stuff over here. Um, I still like Pokemon because I feel like Pokemon is like the OG anime that got us all into anime because we didn't even know we were watching anime. We thought it was a cartoon, you know? But I also really like Horimiya because it's like super sweet and cute. I like Sweat and Soap because also super sweet and super cute. And I don't know, there's just like a I like any anime honestly where the main character is just like super strong and overpowered for no reason and can't handle problems and it's just like, yeah, you thought you was gonna press me? No. So like One Punch Man, also
yeah.
like I like it. I vibe with it. So Saitama is hilarious to me. Everybody else is out here working. Here's this man doing 100 push-ups, and it's just like, yeah,
Right,
you can't touch me.
right. And I think and that's a fun kind of flip on the hero story. Like you're so powerful, no one believes you,
Mm-hmm.
they can't believe, even if they have record of it, like they see it happening, they don't believe you, and then all you're trying to do is just get paid, live life, and be like, I just want to, I'm trying to do this so I can get some money because y'all playing.
He said,
I got
I'm
a
just trying to
little,
pay bills. All right.
yeah, and y'all keep acting like I'm just low level. It's like, oh man, poor thing. And all he just want to go grocery shopping, go get his stuff, get his money, get paid. I mean, it's
He's
such
just
a fun
he just
kind
want to
of
get
play
his sale
on
and
it.
go home. That's it.
Yeah,
So,
I do like it when people can kind of flip the story around a bit.
oh yeah, there's a new complete trope that I'm really into. Also, before we get into this anime's continue to spiral, shout out to Cassandra who hopped in. Welcome, welcome. Um, Said I'm figuring out the major and minor plots of Act One, pants my way through the first draft, and now I have to plot it out so the story makes sense and has an understandable meaning. Understand that.
I
So
like it.
good luck, because I find that honestly, like trying to plot something after I have written it is so much harder than plotting it before it's written. I don't know why, because it's already done. I just have to figure out where it goes, but something about it does not compute in my brain. So good luck. I wish you the most success with that. Um, Also,
Realistic got 199 words.
yeah, so congrats.
Yes.
So making
I
progress.
haven't seen Chainsaw Man yet.
You
I
need
need
to
to watch
see it. It's
it.
so
Okay.
good. Oh my god. This look, Chainsaw Man is like magnificent. And I don't use that word to describe anime often, but like just the story. It's a horror anime, so if like you're not into gore, apparently it's
All
a
right.
horror anime. I didn't know it was horror because I don't know what's wrong with me, you guys. Anime violence does not mean anything to me. Okay, like you got a chainsaw popping out of
Okay.
your head. Okay, whatever. That's anime. We rock with it. You died because someone stabbed you in the street and then you turned into a slime that contained monsters. Okay, cool. We rock with it. Like I'm not gonna ask questions. This is just anime, right? But apparently it's horror, so be mindful. But it's just like the art style and like the way the characters are written and how everybody has their own motives. And okay, I don't know if y'all could tell this about me and my person, the who I am as a human being, but I really don't like it when everyone's like, "Ooh, I just met you and now we're best friends." Why?
Right.
You don't know this stranger. This is how you get betrayed, homie. Ask questions. Like, and Chainsaw Man doesn't have that vibe, and like the main character Denji, he's just like, yo, I just want some bread with some jam. And then he gets some bread with some jam and he's like, yo, I just want to talk to a girl. Like that would be amazing. Like his goals are so low, and when you get to know him, you understand why. And you're just like, yo, Genji, I hope you talk to a girl too. You deserve that bread with that toast, okay? That toast with that jam. I hope you get it. And the way it just like makes you root for the characters and like how all of them have their distinct personalities. It's so good. It's so good. Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen are arguably like two of my favorite recent uh like action anime, just from the pure storytelling aspect and the characters. Like I just feel like you could watch it, and as someone who tells stories, there's so much that you can pick up from it. Like in Jujutsu Kaisen, you have the main character, and he is so like he's like your basic average kid. Well, I was gonna say your basic average girl. Kim Possible stuck in my head. Whatever. He's like your he's like a regular kid, but he's like super, super, super strong for like no reason, for no good reason or whatever. But he's just out here living his regular life, and then he gets caught up in all of this mess or whatever. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like when you follow his journey, it makes sense. And plus, Gojo is amazing. We're just gonna leave that at what it is. Okay. Some people like Kakashi. Kakashi was great, but now we got Gojo, and Gojo is a step up. Sometimes you gotta upgrade. That's what it is. But anyway, I got distracted. Point is, it's a good, it's amazing storytelling. Yu Hakusho, Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, and Chainsaw Man all have like really amazing storytelling, really amazing pacing, really amazing like just elements of storytelling that you can pick up just from watching it. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is great. This is fantastic. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. You know? And then I also like the the trope of I was reincarnated as the villainess in an Otome game,
I didn't
and
like it.
I like
Yeah.
that one. The last one we watched, I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. It's so good. It's so good. Like, okay, I am. Oh, I got on a whole rant. This is see, Ash did this on purpose. She knows that I get like this when I start talking about anime. She did this on purpose, y'all. But um, the, just so you know, I'm a sub person. I like to read like subtitles with my anime. I'm not a dub gal for the most part. But the dub of I'm the villainess, so I tame the final boss. It is gold. It is amazing. I love it. I love it so much. There are only, I think that one and the dub for, I want to say, Gate are the only two anime where I prefer the dub over the subtitle version. Because Gate is hilarious. And I'm just out here naming anime like y'all know what the heck I'm talking about. Um,
I'm loving it because I'm getting recommendations. I'm interested
so,
in the villainous taming the final boss. That sounds like fun.
So basically, in the I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. If you guys don't know, there's this genre of game in Japan. It's called Otome, and Otome games are basically like where you're the main character. It's basically like a novel that you play and you click through choices, and basically it's like a dating sim or whatever. Like you pick a character and you go through their like little love tree or whatever, and you end up you get the story and you have multiple dateable players or whatever. Anyway, there's also this genre in anime called isekai, and isekai is basically like you died and got sent to another world, right? So
like reincarnation, yeah.
yeah. So I'm the villainess is basically about this girl. She was sick. I don't know if she was terminal or she got hit by a truck, whatever. Homegirl was dying, okay? And when she died, she ended up in the Otome game, in the world of the Otome game that she was playing and obsessed with when she died. And when she gets to like a scene or like a really prominent scene, her memories come back. And this is not a spoiler. This is just like the premise for the genre or whatever, because it's a whole genre of girls who get sent to Otome games as villains. I don't know why. It's interesting. Anyway, in this one, she's like, "Yo, the villainess dies in this game. Nah, we're not playing those games." So she was like, "Bump that. We're going to go ahead and tame the final boss so he doesn't turn into the demon lord and kill me at the end of this game." So it follows that, but of course demon lord is super hot, super hunky, and it's just like he's got magic. And so she's swooning in the anime, but y'all, the dub, this man is smooth as freaking silk. Okay, I'm just like, me and Ben were both out here squealing like, it was.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to calm down.
Sir, these lines, is this for children? What?
See, that's what. Okay, so that's one of my. I do read a lot of like webtoons, manga, different mangas online, and that is like what I'm noticing is becoming like the most popular, or it is currently the most popular. The reincarnation, magical.
Mushoku Tensei is amazing too.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that one, but I mean, I've done villainous. All villains deserve to die. A few of them, like I've been reincarnated into. Like, oh no, the one of my favorites is like the
Jobless Reincarnation.
Best friend. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Mushoku Tensei is also called Jobless Reincarnation in English. I did not mean to interrupt you. Say that one more time.
But what was it? One of them was like they become the best friend of the main character of the villain. They were supposed to be a villainess, but they become the best of the main character. So they're women, and now that villainess is stopping her from being in, or at least showing her how toxic her options were. So I can't remember the name of it, but if I remember, I will put it in the comments later. But
you need to send me that one.
Yeah, that one is so funny. I've become like the target. Like they've become the target of all of the heroes. They're supposedly heroes because they're all pretty toxic. And I'm like, okay, see, this is why I love how they kind of flip the genre a little bit, but it's still in the same realm of they're the villainous and like the greatest like bad guy. Well, I mean, hero or whatever falls in love with them instead, and then it's not like the heroine gets super upset or anything like I guess the original heroine. So it's pretty. I can't remember what the name of that. I know I've been reading. It's on hiatus right now, so I think that's probably why I'm like not clicking the name. But I will look it up and send it to you.
Yes, send it to me. And also, let me know if y'all want me to like drop any of these anime recommendations in the chat, because I know we're talking about them, but I could go on about anime for days, so I just kind of just don't. So just let me know. Also, time is up. We do need to jump into this next sprint. So 5 minutes, top of the hour, we are jumping into our next sprint. So quick reminder, verbal, if you needed it, break time. So stretch, breathe, get your water, go to the bathroom, get a snack. If you're Benjamin, if you're listening to this and you want to bring me a snack, that's totally fine. Do whatever it is that you need to do to take care of yourself. Okay. What was I going to say? I forgot. I lost my train of thought. It is not cohesive at this point. But also, quick reminder that if you guys enjoy writing sprints and you enjoy Ash, be sure to go subscribe to her channel. She also does writing sprints on her channel, and she is doing them later today at 6 o'clock. So if you're more of an evening person, go ahead. And she drinks on her channel. I am not on her level yet, so I'm gonna join her next week after I have time to re-up. Because like my tea is just is very mild, because I'd be sprinting in the morning and I was like, we not taking, it's not nap time after this.
Right.
So
yeah, those are evening sprints. It gets a little wild. I swear. Tonight I got a new alcohol. This one is electric orange sipping cream. It's moonshine, y'all.
Y'all see what I be saying? She always got something good over there. Like
it's gonna be weird. So yeah, it gets weird when I start talking about monsters and stuff. It gets up there, but at least we're getting the writing done.
You were listening to me. Thank you. He brought me a snack, you guys.
Good. I got my Sargento Colby Jack cheese stick.
I used to love cheese sticks. I have such a love-hate relationship with cheese, because I'm like, one minute I love them and the next I'm like, why do you exist? Who thought at some point to milk a cow and let it sit and then add coloring to it to sell it to people? Like, I don't know. That's just kind of a weird thought process. How did we get here? I don't know if y'all follow Amber Ruffin, but she has like this whole series called How Did We Get Here on her show. And I'm like, I want her to do a How Did We Get Here of like, how did we get to cheese? Who thought that was... Who came up with sour cream? Who came up with blue cheese crumbles? Huh? Like... Who's like, yeah, we should eat this? I don't know. Maybe we should ask some questions. Anyway, yeah. Also, I will drop a link in the description box to Ash's channel, so y'all can make sure to go subscribe and... click the notify me so you don't forget.
Why, thank you. Yes, I'll be glad to have you. And I finally figured it out. I saw that Julia's in the chat. You are on the list for the next invite. Finally figured out how to do this. With Chelsea's help.
I don't know what we're talking about. I was distracted. I was trying to get a link. Yeah. So what are we talking about? What did I do?
No, just getting other folks on to the stream so they can drink and write with me too.
Oh yeah. And I just dropped a link in the chat. So even if you're watching the live replay, just like make sure that the live replay is on the side and you can click the link over to Ash's channel to go ahead and subscribe and follow her, because she's amazing. Like, obviously she's amazing. So, and we support Black authors around these parts. So act like you know. Great.
What Cameo said is that it was a mistake. Then they colored it and got cheese.
I just want to know who decided to like milk a cow. Like, decide that this milk is not for the calf. It is for this human being over here. Like, how do we get to that? I'm curious who decided that, yes, this flightless bird, we should kill it and cook it over fire so that we can eat it. Who came up with that? Why? I'm sorry, y'all.
Commercialism. That's all there is to it. Like they're gonna figure out to commodify it in some way.
Oh, it amuses me. It amuses me just to be like somebody somewhere was a heretic at some point because they were like, yes, I eat the birds, and they were like, someone somewhere was like, we eat salads. What are you talking about?
Right.
Anyway, just that my husband is listening in and understands everything y'all talking about. I'm lost, but his ears perked up as soon as you said anime. Well, anime is so underrated sometimes. It's literally some of the best storytelling. And here's the thing. I'm going to go a slight rant, and then we're really going to get into this next one. For real, right? For me, I prefer anime over like cartoons and reality TV because it's just like you have such a wide variety of anime. There are so many different genres. And then if you like it, the thing that I love about anime is that the storytelling, to me, opinion, right? Prefacing this with opinion. You can disagree with me, but it's an opinion, all right? I really like anime because it's just like 9 times out of 10 is based off of source material. And source material is like an actual story that had to go through like an editor and get published. It wasn't something that someone just wrote for TV. Like they wrote a whole book, a whole series. It's thought out and then it's adapted for a visual medium. So it's just like if you want to know what happens at the end, you can just go read the source material. And I love that. I love that aspect of knowing that a story is meant to be a story and it's just adapted for this medium. Rather than being like, oh yeah, I have no idea if we're going to get greenlit for a second season, so we're going to just do whatever and end this really haphazardly. But then